Hey guys, it's me Sarah again, and we are doing STEM at home, and today we're going to be doing paper airplanes and airplane launchers. So yes, another thing to annoy your parents with, but hopefully it's a lot of stuff that you have at home, and there's all kinds of variations you can do on this. So first I want to talk about a little bit about the science behind it and why we're doing this. So we're going to be doing some physics and then also some engineering. So physics, because when we're doing our airplanes, we're actually going to be working with different forces. So we can look at Newton's laws, and so I did talk about that the other day, and we have the 3 laws of motion. So the law of inertia, when we make our airplane, it's not going to move by itself. We have to apply a force. When we launch that airplane, it's not going to fly forever because gravity is going to pull down on it. Also, it's going through the air is slowing it down. Second law, force equals mass times acceleration. What that means is this airplane is going to be really light. I don't have to use a lot of force to move it, but the more force I apply, the further and faster it will go. Third law, action reaction. So that means for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. We're actually going to be making some slingshots to use with our airplanes that will demonstrate that. The other thing we're going to be looking at is principles of flight. So when we talk about airplanes in flight, there's 4 forces that are working on the airplane. So we have gravity that's pushing down. We're going to have thrust that's pushing it forward. We have drag that's slowing it down, that's going through all those air molecules around it. And then we have lift that's actually lifting it up from underneath. I'm not going to go into the other principle today that also has to affect flight, and that's going to be Bernoulli's principle. We're going to be demonstrating that on one of our Don't Try This at Home videos. So instead, I'm actually just going to show you how to make some paper airplanes and how to make some launchers so you can do some really cool flight tricks at home. So I have 2 airplanes that I've already made, and I'm just using regular copy paper. As always, we will print the directions, post the directions on the imag.org. So if you've never made an airplane before, or you're not sure how to make a really cool aerodynamic one, we will show you how to do that at the imag.org. But so I've got 2 planes here, and so if you were to look at these 2 planes, hopefully you should realize that this one on this side is going to be the more aerodynamic of the 2. So that nice sleek shape is what's going to make it fly faster and further. This one is called the Classic Dart. So I'm going to show you how to make this airplane because we're going to be using it for the launchers that we're going to make. So come over here, and we're just going to be using plain white paper. I'm actually going to fold and then hold it up so you can actually see what I'm doing. So you want to take your paper and you're going to fold it what we call hot dog way. And so that means you're going to fold it lengthwise. So not widthwise, lengthwise. You want to make really nice creases when you do this as well, and try to fold as evenly as you can. Then we're going to open it up. Now, the next step that you want to do is we're going to fold each side into the middle. And I'm going to hold that up just so you can see. So we're going to go like this, and then we're going to fold like this. And so at this point, your airplane should look like this, okay? Now, the next step is, I like to explain it that I'm going to take this edge, and I'm going to line that edge up with the middle of my paper. So I'm going to take this, fold it over, and I'm going to hold it up again so you can see it. So all I've done is I have taken this and I have folded it in like this. And then of course you want to do the same thing to the other side. So we're going to do the other side. I have a feeling some of you are probably already experts at making airplanes. That's okay. So now we've got both sides symmetrical, folded in, nice creases. The next thing I want you to do is I actually want you to fold your airplane closed. And so we're going to take our airplane, fold it, close it. Now we have a shape like this. Now again, for this last step, what we're going to do is I like to explain it that I'm taking this edge and I'm lining it up with this edge at the bottom. So I'm going to fold my plane. So all I did was I took this edge and I folded it down and lined it up with the edge along the bottom. And then of course you have to do the same thing to the other side. All right, so I've got all my folds, and then when I come back, now when I open it up, I've got that classic dart shape. Now again, especially if you have multiple kids in your household, or if you're looking for ways to extend this project, definitely get out the colored pencils, the markers, go ahead and decorate your plane. Again, it's that whole concept of STEAM, so science, technology, engineering, art, and math, and then also because everybody's planes start to look the same and we want to know whose are whose. So we've got this really cool airplane. It's going to fly really well. I'm just going to throw that off camera. And then what we're going to do though is I'm going to show you how to take that airplane and take it up a notch. So for this next airplane, what we're going to do is we're going to take the Dart airplane that we made, but we're actually going to make make a flinger for it so that we can actually make it go further and faster. So basically what we're going to be doing is taking the second law, so force equals mass times acceleration. We're going to increase the force that we're applying to increase the acceleration. So our airplane's not changing, but we're going to be able to apply more force to make it go further and faster. So what I'm going to do for that, take that airplane, and what we're going to do is you want to punch a hole towards the front, but not too close to the bottom that it is easy to rip. And then you're going to take a rubber band, and what you want to do, take your rubber band and you want to put it through the hole. So all I've done is taken my rubber band, and if you look at it right here, it's just all the way through the hole, and then I just want to take one side and thread it through the other side and then pull. And so now it's tied on to the end like this. And all you have to do to be able to launch this airplane is take it, and you want to put your finger up here and you hold your airplane back here, and then you're going to release, and that's going to slingshot your airplane and make your airplane launch. I'm going to tell you this takes a little bit of practice. A lot of times you're going to hit your finger at first, but once you master this, you'll be able to get your airplane going much further and much faster. Now that's one way that you can change your airplane. Here's another way. So with this one, what we're going to do is I can have someone grab that airplane that I just threw over there. I'm going to show you how I made this. So this airplane right here, again, it's still my it's my dart airplane, but if you notice there's something sticking out of the bottom, and so here's how I did that. So for this one, I'm going to need, actually, I'm going to take this one out and show you what I did. So we're going to take this apart. All right, so what you need is a paper clip, and what I've done is I've just gone ahead and I've bent my paper clip. So I've pulled out one side, and then you're going to come over to your airplane. You're going to kind of open your airplane up, and then you want to poke the paper clip through the airplane pretty close to the front of your airplane. And then usually what I'll do is I'll usually take a little piece of tape and I just put it across the top of my airplane, and so that way your airplane stays closed. So you're going to end up with an airplane looks like this, and so I've got a paper clip here, piece of tape here, and so this is going to help us turn this into the ability to slingshot it. So again, we're taking force equals mass times acceleration. We're increasing the force to increase our acceleration. And with the slingshot, you're also doing action-reaction. So with that, you are pulling back to release forward. And also, you can also say inertia. Plane's not going to move by itself. We have to apply a force. So for this one, what we're going to be making, the rubber bands that we're going to make right now, the chain that we're going to make, you can use for two different things. So I'm going to show you how to make this chain of rubber bands. I have discovered that the magic number for this chain is 9. I've had some kids who get really excited about this, and they try to make really long chains, and it starts to get so long that it actually hinders the plane instead of making it go the way that we want it to. So you're going to need 9 rubber bands, and so what you're going to do is you're going to take your rubber bands, and this is a hard thing to explain, so I'm going to try and show this up here. I've got 2 rubber bands, and all I'm doing is crisscrossing the rubber bands, and I'm pulling one through the other, and then I pull, and it's going to put it in a knot. And I'm going to include pictures of this on the directions that we post, because this is the hardest part. So again, I've got my rubber band, I am crisscrossing the 2 rubber bands, and then I'm just pulling through. And you're just going to do that until you have 9 rubber bands all connected in a chain. And now, to do this at home, once you've done all of that, there's a couple different ways you can use this, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to talk to you about 2 and show you 1. So one way you can do this is if you have other friends at home, mom and dad or brother and sister, what you want to do is have one person hold this end, one person hold this end, okay? And so they're going to hold this rubber band and they're going to stretch it out. What you're going to do is you're going to take your airplane, and while they have it stretched out, you're going to end up hooking your airplane over the rubber bands so that you can pull back and launch. And again, I'm going to include pictures of this in the directions so you get a better idea of that. If you happen to be an only child or you just want to do this by yourself, the other way you can do this is if you have a chair, you can flip the chair over and hook the ends of your rubber bands over the legs of the chair and pull it back. And again, that's going to make a slingshot that you can use. Here's the third way you can do this. If mom or dad happens to just have some scrap wood in the garage, all I did for this is we just took a piece of wood and you can use nails or screws, and you want to go ahead and put those in. So I tried to make sure they're not going through the back because you don't want to end up poking yourself, but you want them to stick out a lot, just like this. And then I actually just added another little loop at the end of my rubber bands. And so what I can do is I can come over here, and I'm just looping my rubber bands over, and then you want to find a place, and I'm going to tilt this so you can see, where you can kind of get a good angle, because I want to be able to pull back like this. So this is going to give us that nice slingshot. And then you're going to take, again, you're going to take your airplane. Let me find the right one. It's this one, sorry. All right, you're going to grab this airplane. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab it and I'm going to pull it back on the rubber band so that I can release like this, okay? So this is going to be your slingshot. And this is the same concept that's going to happen if you do this with other people or if you hook it over the legs of a chair. So again, you're just getting that awesome slingshot action that's going to make you be able to release your airplane. So again, lots of different ways you can do this. Again, with this, I also grabbed my Sharpies because, again, if you want to, you can actually decorate this as well. Extend the lesson, again, turn STEM into STEAM, and that's pretty much it for today. So you are learning about Newton's laws of motion. You're learning about the principles of flight. You're also becoming an engineer because you are solving problems and making things go further and faster. So again, I would love to see your experiments. I'd love to see what you guys do. See your airplanes, your slingshots. Make sure that you are tagging us if you are posting any videos. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure that you are checking out the directions at theimag.org, and make sure you tune into our other videos.